Hi, I'm Lisa Hayden with Channel 6 Central Kentucky TV, Community Focus on Washington County. And we are delighted today to have with us Mayor Debbie Wakefield, who is the mayor of Springfield, has just started her second term.
Yes, in January.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Of course, I ran against you the first time. And,
Yes.
and daggone it, I
And
didn't
guess
win.
what? We're still
Almost
best of friends.
did.
We're still best of friends, too. That's great. You almost did. How many votes? It was close.
It was real close. 4 of us running.
Yeah.
This time,
Split the votes.
I didn't run against you. I thought, no, I don't want to do that again. I've got 2 grandbabies now that I have had to focus a lot of attention on.
And they are adorable.
And thank you
by
very
the way.
much.
Now, after this term, Lisa, I do
don't-
believe in term limits, so have at it.
No. Getting too old. But, I have to tell you that you have really, I don't know how you do it because you still work in with the federal government.
In Lexington.
And commute there every day, I think, except Fridays.
Every other Friday, I'm here.
Every other Friday because you have office hours in Springfield.
I do.
And so your job there is, what is that official title?
My title is administrative officer. So what that entails is I oversee all the HR, all procurement, all of our office leasing space. We don't own our buildings in our cities. We lease space from landlords. So I oversee that. Our budget, kind of like what we do with the city. So I oversee our budget and whatever else is thrown my way.
And that's with the
It's with the Farm Service Agency.
Farm Service Agency.
That is a branch of the United States Department of Agriculture, and I've been working with them for 25 years. In March next month, March the 6th will be
Debbie.
25 years. I'm telling my age.
You can retire with them in 2 years, I think.
No, I have
27?
I have to be 57 with 30 years.
57 with 30 years.
8 more years. Yeah.
You got a long way before you
I'll
get
have my
to
time
that.
before I'll have my age.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Because you've been working with them since you were how old?
24.
And of course, you graduated. We'll get on to that. St. Dominic Elementary, then Washington County High School
in '88, and then I went on to. I took some classes at St. Catherine, but I graduated from Campbellsville College at the time, and then went back and got my master's, and it was Campbellsville University.
Okay.
So
got your master's in business administration. That's what I was thinking. So, and then must have gone straight to working with the agriculture.
Actually, I was working full time and doing my master's on weekends. So I was already working for the agency. It was 2002 is when I got my master's. So yeah, I was already working
and going to school on the weekend. Did that for
Took me
2 years, a year,
18 months.
I
think. Yeah, it was a weekend. It was their first weekend program for the NBA. So they was a little lenient on us. So So I was in the first class, graduating class of the MBA program at Campbellsville University. So we did it on weekends. So now I don't know if it's still just a weekend program or if you can go during the semesters. Now I don't know, but back then it was on the weekend.
Yeah,
for working people. That's what it was for. Because everybody in the class had jobs.
Yeah.
They were already working on their career. So.
Yeah, and you attended St. Catherine a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I took some accounting courses down there.
Hopefully we're going to have some things in the works with them.
You and I know we were working on it. I think we've got a very good group that has purchased the property down there, and they know how much we want to see that campus grow again, and how much we love that campus and still love it. And so I think they're willing to work with the community, and they want to know what we want. So that's another good thing about the Walker Group. They want to know what would you all like to see. So I'm tickled to death.
I'd like to go back and just sit in on some classes.
Yeah, me too.
Now
you
that
spend a lot of time
now that
down
I'm
there.
a senior, yes, I always, helped with, did some of the fundraisers and this and that, and was very involved down there, and Of course, I attended the academy and the college.
I know you did.
And but I always said when I retired, I was going to take some classes down there. Just sit in, and monitor them. They let you do that for free. So I'm hoping they'll.
Hoping we can get that.
I sure hope. We'll see. But they are making some improvements. I've noticed that already. I know
they are.
Have too. You mentioned that. So, but then Debbie. So, of course. Well, I'm so used to calling you Debbie. I always
can still call me. I want everybody to call me Debbie. Sometimes I'm walking down Main Street and they're saying Mayor, and I keep walking, and then Lori will say, Mayor, I think they're talking to you. I'm just not used to that. I want everybody to call me Debbie.
Well, so here you are now. You working full time still in Lexington, but. It's amazing to me because you do get around.
I try,
Debbie, to all of the people don't realize. I think the extent that the city is involved with.
Well, and it's good to support. I mean, I know, and there's sometimes I can't make some of the events. I just can't. Sometimes I double book. I just can't get there. But we need to support our civic groups here as much as we can. You attend some of those meetings,
right?
When there's programs for children, whether it's elementary, middle, or high school, I try to attend as much as I can, especially in the evenings. If they're in the evenings, I try to make sure I'm there. We need to support our youth as much as we can.
Yes. Yep.
They're our future.
And then we have you attend because the water company is under the auspices of the city, so you attend their meetings.
I go to their meetings.
You attend tourism meetings under the airport board.
Try to attend the theater meetings when I can, unless we're double booked.
Yeah, because the theater now is under always has been, but our Mid Kentucky Arts is all under the city umbrella now.
Well, if you don't attend some of the meetings, again, I can't make them every month. I need to keep abreast of what's going on. You have to be at the meetings to know what's going on. And, of course, I can get an update. I can talk to the directors and get an update, but I can take more out of it if I'm there. And then if I have questions, I can ask.
Yeah.
And so, of course, there's always minutes from the meetings, but sometimes you don't glean everything out of those minutes.
Yeah.
So, so when I can make those meetings, and then, of course, we have SWETA.
Right.
Try to go to
our economic development meetings, and so and of course they present to city council at monthly meetings. Some of those, or we get reports on. But in addition to that, I know you attend a lot of those, and so you're all over the place.
Try to be. Now I got to get to one of those housing authority meetings. That's the one that I don't get to as much. But you're there as a representative, so you keep me abreast of what's going on. So it's been great. We've got a good board there as well.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of good volunteers in the city that are on these boards, and so
we're very thankful to have them.
Yeah,
because that's what they do on all of our committees and boards. They're all volunteer. Well, most of them are volunteers. There are some committees that they do get paid, but it's not very much. It's just once a year.
You might as well
in my opinion, they're volunteers.
Yeah.
And they do a very, very good job.
Yeah.
And they love to be involved with the community, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people out here that continue, and they want to be involved. I've had some more people to come up that hasn't been involved as much, and they want to get involved. So we're going to try to rotate some people off committees and boards to get some fresh blood on.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because as you stated, sometimes we need term limits.
We need term limits. I do agree, and I believe in term limits.
Even with myself on city council, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's time, and we do need young people in our community involved. And I'm always encouraging young people to get on our committees, our boards,
and even
to run for city council.
They only have to be 18 years old to run for city council.
Yeah.
21 for mayor and 18 for city council.
Yeah.
So they can. I don't think a lot of youth know that.
Yeah. Well, of course, I know that they're just getting started right out of high school, but they, there are things, even if they don't want to run for city, that they can be involved in. Heck, Sue Blair was just on here and talking about her award last night at the Chamber for the Sidewalk Hall of Fame. And, we need a lot of volunteers for our Sorghum Festival.
We do. We need a lot.
Yeah.
If we want the Sorghum Festival to grow, and I know people do, we get a lot of people make comments, a lot of people have their input or want their input.
Yeah.
But we got to find people. You got to be able to.
That's right.
It takes a lot of volunteers to make that happen.
Yeah.
For a weekend. People have no clue how much time it takes to plan, prepare, and to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyone, that wants to volunteer for anything, just call City Hall or Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be delighted to give you an opportunity there.
And especially with the parade. People have no clue how much it takes to put a parade on. I mean, you've got to have people at different sections. It's just a lot of preparation. So, and I know people enjoy the parade. When we didn't have it that one year, it was like, oh, no parade.
Yeah.
But we do need volunteers.
Yeah. Yeah, you really do. So, anybody, the mayor's welcoming you to participate and volunteer anyway. And so we look forward to hearing from some of our listening audience.
Look forward to it.
And so now, Mayor, tell us what's going on in the city.
Right now? Well, we had a special call meeting last night I thought was a great meeting, and we'll have to talk about that a little bit more. We got to do a little bit more planning, but as well as I do, we're going to have some, we've got a lady that's working with us for our strategic planning. To help us do some strategic planning in here in the city of some needs that, we've got a lot of people that would like to see some more activities for our youth. And so actually I have an email from her right now. She wants to come back.
Dr. Laura.
Yep.
I never can say her last name.
I believe is her name.
Yeah.
Gurkovich. And she wants to come back and actually meet with another youth group. She wants to meet with other community leaders and citizens in the community. We're probably going to hold a meeting where we can, like a listening session, where people can come together and we can do some planning.
Right.
Get some ideas.
Right.
We need some short-term goals and long-term goals.
Right.
For the community. And now some of those things, again, like say for the short-term goals, maybe some of those things can be done within 12 to 24 months. And of course, the long-term goals could be 3 to 5 years out, but we need to plan.
Right.
We need to plan.
Well, certainly, as you said, our youth are our future. And, with our, particularly with our drug problem that every community has.
Yes.
We've got to really concentrate on keeping our children out of that mode of experimenting with drugs, and we need for them to have something else to do.
Yes, and that's our goal too, to keep them busy.
Yeah.
To keep them busy.
Yeah.
We do have an enforcement officer in the school systems that is there for protection, but also to help educate our youth on different things like drugs and in other aspects, anything that bullying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah.
But Kurt is very good about working with our youth. I think the school system is very pleased with what he's done.
Yeah.
I know I am.
What's his Officer Kurt? What's his name?
Officer Kurt.
Isn't that awful? We just call him Officer Kurt. But he is. Well, he's got a great disposition and very interested in our youth, and so I think he's a real asset, as you said, with our school.
He has been, and of course, our police officers go into the school systems. They eat lunch with some of the students, so they have a good rapport with them as well. And just being able to talk to them and making them feel comfortable that if they do have an issue, maybe they don't feel comfortable talking to someone at home.
Yeah,
that there's somebody else out there that they could come and talk to.
Yeah.
And so, but our school system, the Board of Education, they're doing a really good job trying to make sure that the children know that there's counselors, there's people out here that they can go talk to if they don't feel comfortable talking to their parents at home.
Yeah.
Or any relatives at home. I mean, sometimes I didn't always feel comfortable talking to my parents.
Yeah.
But I had other family members and friends. I felt more comfortable talking to their parents, and they were there to listen. So
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that our youth know that there are people out there.
Yeah. And speaking of parents, I know your mother, Mary, who retired from the Springfield State Bank, is home recuperating from knee surgery.
She had that about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had her knee
And
replaced
then you
again.
were in the hospital.
Yes.
And then Jeff is your brother is home, of course, requires lots of care.
He requires 24-hour care.
Yeah.
Which we're very thankful and fortunate that we're able to take care of him.
Yeah.
We're still able to take care of him at home right now.
Yeah.
So my father says he and the dog Bear are the only two healthy ones right now. So they're taking care of everybody. So I'm thankful of that. He just turned 73 in February.
Who?
My father did, and he's doing.
Really?
My mother turned 69 February the 6th, and he turned 73 February the 4th.
I had no idea.
I got sick on his birthday and went into the hospital on her birthday. So that's how we celebrated the birthdays.
And, you know, here you are today with us and having had major surgery.
I feel pretty good, though.
And so, you know, I know you couldn't be at the chamber banquet last night as a result. And you couldn't be at the ceremony at St. Dominic School, where the Night of Nights banquet last weekend, I guess it was, and
Saturday.
You were in the hospital and were going to, and was presented with an award.
Yes.
The St. Dominic Alumni, what?
Alumni of the Year, I think.
Alumni of the Year?
I think.
Was that?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so.
gosh, I think
Yeah,
it was
I think it was Alumni
I
of
think
the
it was
Year.
alumni.
Yes, they called me, and I had every intention of being there. And I was so thankful for the award. But first thing I said, I know there's somebody else out here that deserves that award better more than me. But I was very thankful for it, and tickled to death I was nominated. But there's so many people out here I know that.
Well, I mean, gosh,
was well deserving of that award.
You know, you attended St. Dominic Elementary,
First
through 8th grade. And, you know, you've gone on to be mayor of Springfield and a big position with the U.S. Department of Agriculture. And so I don't know who would be more deserving.
Well, I'm very thankful for it. And of course, I mean, I have to credit my family and my teachers down there. And there's still several teachers that still live in this community. That were my teachers at St. Dominic.
Did you have Janie?
I did.
Janie Spalding.
I had Janie. I don't say Janie. I had Miss Spalding as a fourth grade teacher.
Miss Spalding, of course. Miss Poland.
Miss Clemens was my first grade teacher. Now she's Miss Kidwell. She's still here.
Okay.
Miss Sutton. Belle Sutton was my second grade teacher.
Okay.
Miss Doty Poland was my third grade teacher. And Miss Janie Spalding was the fourth.
Miss Spalding,
and of course, Miss Lanham was my fifth grade teacher, but she passed away of cancer many years ago. Sixth grade teacher is Miss Frost.
Really?
My seventh.
Marlene Frost?
Yes.
Okay.
My seventh grade teacher was Miss Miles, who was Miss Edlin.
Kathy. Edlin
and then
Miles,
Sister James Vincent was my eighth grade teacher.
Well, for goodness
And Sister
sake.
Rosa Melda, of course, was the principal at the time. So all of those ladies had a hand in raising me.
Yeah.
And keeping me me in line. That's right. That's right.
They were great teachers.
And even right today, I still see them. And they said, "Now, Debbie, are you staying out of trouble?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, yes, I'm going to tell you now. We all know how St. Dominic was. My children attended there, and
Yes,
they
they
were
did.
pretty strict. So they did their best to keep everybody out of trouble.
Didn't hurt me one bit.
Yeah. And so then, I'm congratulate you on that award, and
thank you.
sorry you could not be there to accept that. And also, you know, I have to mention that this is Black History Month, and I'm not sure what the status is on your being mayor. Of course, you were a city council woman prior to that.
That's right.
But I think the Kentucky League of Cities is doing an article on you.
That's what I've been told.
It says,
I tried to stay over, but I've been. That's
well,
what
you
I've
have been told it, so good.
Yes,
I'm not spilling the beans.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is going to be an article with Kentucky League of Cities.
Which oversees, you know, our cities, and the city of Springfield is a member of
it,
a state organization for cities and local governments. So now, Debbie, what is that article going to?
I don't know. I answered.
Are you one of the first? You're one of the. Of course, the mayor of Perryville, a black woman, was.
I don't know who was the first. I don't know who is the first black female mayor in the state of Kentucky, but I was the first black female in the city of Springfield. I don't know the answer as far as the state of Kentucky.
Okay.
And it may be Miss Sleet
over
Mayor
in
Sleet in
Perryville.
Perryville. But I don't know. I'm not sure on that.
So I wasn't sure what the article was going to focus on, but you know, I was recently visited the National Museum African American Museum of History and
DC.
Culture in DC.
I haven't been there yet.
I got to be there on President's Day and during Black History Month, and so I was delighted about that. My daughter, who lives up there, you know,
So you was
fortunately
able to
is moving
tour.
home, and we toured that. So you know, I think that. And you, compared to your parents, I'm sure Mary and Billy could tell me, you know, how things were with their growing up.
Well, yeah, because
compared to when you grew up.
yes, I tell you, going to St. Dominic, everybody was treated the same.
You were sheltered.
We were, I mean, we were. I mean,
Yeah.
really, we were. Everybody was treated the same. You didn't know we wore uniforms, so you didn't know if somebody was a little bit better off than you were as far as financially. You didn't know. You didn't know, and so I think that was
Those
a blessing.
are all good things.
Yeah, you did not know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes now kids, well,
I like the dress code in schools.
I do too.
I think it helps.
I think the dress codes
keep
are-
from
I do like the dress codes,
differentiating
yes.
between your, you know, economic status and but.
Now, when my parents grew up, I mean, Daddy was born in '46, and Mama was born. She was born in '50. So there were some things that they couldn't do as children growing up that I can do now, and could when I was a child. I mean, I didn't.
So you've really, I mean, that's why a lot of people in your generation really have not experienced
No.
the, of course, you know.
Not
we
like my
didn't-
parents did.
Right.
No. And of course, so my dad, he did not go to Washington County. That school, he went to Springfield High. My mother was the first graduating class of, I think she was 67 in Washington County. So
Okay.
he was at Washington County had not been formed then when he was in high school. It was still Springfield High. And then his two siblings, of course, they went to Lincoln Institute in Shelby County. It was a boarding school for blacks at that time because they couldn't go to school. They were older than him, so they couldn't go to school here. So they went to Lincoln Institute. Betty and Carolyn.
But they
his sisters.
they lived here in Springfield, but they went to boarding school
in
this
Shelby County.
Lincoln Institute.
In Simpsonville.
Wow. So they must have been, were they, you know, more well off economically?
Well, it was just a little bit more segregation, so they couldn't. So
Right,
it was
more segregation,
yeah, so
of course, but at the same time, you know, I do know that we had some schools around here, didn't we?
you could go Marion County.
Marion
Lebanon,
County. I think that's where Alma
She did.
told me she went
She
to.
went over there.
Yeah, in Lebanon.
Several would go there, and they would come back home every day, or they would go to the boarding school in Simpsonville in Shelby County.
And see, that's new to me. I have not heard of.
So it's called
of
Lincoln
that yet.
Institute.
Lincoln Institute, yeah.
James Girton, he went to Lincoln Institute.
Is that right?
There's several, and they would stay there.
And come home on the weekends,
Or maybe not.
or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You would stay for the semester.
Was that high school or was
High
that
school,
Is that right?
9th through 12th.
Now,
High
where did
school.
they go to elementary?
Here. They went to elementary school. There was an elementary school on High Street. There was one in Poor Town, depending on what part of the community you lived.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now I'm telling
you
you
remember
this
the
based
names?
on what people were telling me. Now I don't remember, but
Do you remember the names of the schools?
no, I don't. No.
I'll get James on here.
Yeah,
and-
he'll be able to tell you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So because of that, I say our young people don't realize the difficulties that the older generations of our African Americans were confronted with. And so, it was really, I know some of it because I'm older. I remember when, we did desegregation.
Well,
and-
there were still some restaurants here in town that you couldn't go through the front door. You could go to the restaurant, but you had to go through the back door to, if you had an order to pick up. You couldn't, if you was a black male or female, you couldn't go through the
Now, you
front
don't
door.
remember
I don't
that.
remember. Now, I'm just
But your
telling you
parents,
what my
yeah.
parents and grandparents
Right.
telling me and great-grandparents telling me.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And
No, I don't remember. No.
Yeah. And so sometimes I think that, we need to remind our youth, and I think you have done a pretty good job of that going into the schools during Black History Month. Isn't that when you do
We
that?
did. We did last year. We haven't done any. Not this year. We didn't. But we did have a program last year. We went in and we talked about Senator Georgia Powers and
Right.
what she went through.
Yeah.
And being born here in Springfield, talking about her legacy. We spoke with the fourth graders. It was the third or fourth graders, and it was a very good program. We had other people to come in and go into the classrooms as well as myself, and we had a very good program. A lot of the students had not heard of Senator Georgia Powers, so it was very enlightening.
Yeah.
And now,
Yeah.
of course, we have.
Now we did the dedication of her historical plaque
Yes.
out on Jimtown Road, the corner there of Jimtown
Jimtown and Keene Lane.
And Keene Lane. And so that was a nice ceremony.
Yes,
yeah.
it was very nice.
Yeah, where she was born.
Yes, where she was born.
Yeah.
There were some relatives that were able to come, and so it was very exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it was amazing to me when you see, what the generations, you think about your parents and what they confronted and your grandparents. And, of course, they were all Washingtonians, I think.
All Washington County.
Because your mother was a...
My mother
Montg-
was my
I get mixed
mother's
up.
my mother was a Logan, but my mother's mother was a Weathers
Okay.
from Washington County.
And your father, Wakefield, and then where did the Montgomerys fit in on that? Joyce's family.
Through marriage.
Oh.
Well, now my Aunt Georgie, who was Joyce's mother, married a Montgomery. That's when the Montgomery came in.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
marriage.
she was a
She was a Weathers.
Weathers. Okay.
Mr. D. Weathers, a lot of people will remember him. He was my great-grandfather.
Okay.
D. and Edith Weathers,
And what did they do?
They lived
here?
on High Street. He farmed mostly, but then he worked some at the water company.
Okay.
But just very well known in his community.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad to see that we have overcome those, and here we are now with our black mayor, our African American president, and so I think now
We've come a long ways.
we've come a long way, and we are certainly having you as our mayor has been a good experience.
Well, I tell
And-
you what, it's been great, and it's been great. Like I said, we have an excellent city council, and that's what I love, because we all work hard, we work well together.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always have to agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we come up with a consensus, and when we walk out of those meetings, everybody's smiling, and we feel like we made a good, sound decision.
Yeah.
We've got great staff with the city. Excellent staff.
Yeah.
Can't ask for any better. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do, I would not be able to do what I'm doing now to have the full-time job if it wasn't for the excellent staff at City Hall.
Yeah.
With Glenn,
Laurie
with his
Smith,
group.
our
Laurie
city,
Smith, yes.
our city administrator,
And I don't
who's
know what
been
we're
there
going to do when she decides
30.
she wants to leave.
I mean, I don't know.
40 years.
40 years.
Getting close, yes. Getting
I
close
mean,
to
you
40
know, we're
years.
asking her questions yesterday about things because only she would
Only
know.
She would know. She's the last one. She would
I don't know what we'll do.
Yeah, she's worked under several mayors.
Yeah. And as you said, Glenn Mattingly, who got an award last night, the Above and Beyond Award.
Great.
In case
Great.
you're not, because
Yes.
you weren't able to
I
be
wasn't
there
able
with
to
your
go, right.
And so he received that. Our City Works director, due to always being on the scene, helping out at the Sorghum Festival,
He
and
helps out anywhere we need him, and I can call Glenn anytime, and I'll be right there,
yeah,
and he does.
yeah,
I mean, our police chief does an excellent job. He has a great staff, and then with the dispatchers, and then even with Chief Jim Loxton, who volunteers as a chief of a fire department.
right.
Still one of our departments, but he volunteers his time, and he's done that for over 40 years.
And think about all our volunteer firefighters.
Yes.
And we'll have to get him on the program too, because we're going to unveil our new.
I don't know
should
if
I
we can
say
that yet. I don't know
Okay.
that we can announce that yet.
I'll
We
wait.
better wait for the unveiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so anyway, lots of good things happening in Springfield. And
We got our, of course, we've been showing movies
yeah.
here with tourism has been doing that. I don't know that how many people's been there. The last one they showed, I wasn't able to come because I was not able to be here. But the more we show, I think more people will start coming.
Yeah. And for those that haven't seen our beautiful seats in our theater
Need to come
upstairs in the Opera House, will just be amazed. I mean, and they are so comfortable, and it is so enjoyable in that huge big screen.
Well, and of course with theater, speaking of having that there, we've got Mamma Mia coming up, and then
Yeah.
we've got the Stinky Cheese Man is coming up.
Yeah.
And then in March or April, I don't have my calendar in front of me, Nell's been working very hard, Nell and Kathy, with our youth at the high school. We're going to have our opportunity. That's going to be some of our
Art students from the
we'll be
high school.
showcasing some of their art
Yeah.
right here in the Opera House.
Yeah.
So that is coming
Yeah.
up. I believe it's well. There's a calendar over there. I don't have it
Yeah.
in front of me.
Well, don't
But
worry,
it's
because
in March or April.
Stephanie McMillan, our tourism director, is coming on in a couple of weeks and
Okay,
talk
that'd be
about
great.
all
She'll
the
be
great
able to-
things coming up.
Well, she'll have the calendar. She'll be
Yeah.
able to go over all that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And then Sister Claire will be here too with New Pioneers for Sustainable Future to talk about the Green Festival.
That'll be great. That'll be coming up in April.
Yeah. So a lot
and
of
that's
things
always an
coming.
exciting event.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I just want to thank you for being here today. I
Well,
know
thank you for the
it's
invite.
pretty tough after major surgery, and I just appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you.
And I want to congratulate you on your St. Dominic Award, Alumni of the Year.
Well, and thank you. And I want to thank, I don't know who nominated me, but I just want to thank them. I really do appreciate the award. And I just hope I can live up to it. Continue to live up to
Well,
that
don't
award.
worry, you're doing a good job.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for everything you do for the city as well. Don't count yourself out now, because you do a lot of work.
I appreciate you being here.
We all do. Well, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thanks.
Thank you.